So on Surmount, you can connect all of your existing investment accounts. And once they're connected, you can go in, you can see some details, but really what we do a great job at is the automation portion. So I can go ahead and start investment strategies into any of these portfolios. I can see how everything's doing. Say this one isn't performing too hot. I can stop the strategy automatically. It will automatically liquidate my holdings. There's no lockup periods, no liquidation fees, so you're fully liquid. If I want to find a new strategy, I can go to the marketplace and find something that someone else has already built. I can look at how everything's performed over the past X time frame. Maybe I have a certain parameter that I'm looking for, highest total return in equity-focused strategies. And let's see, maybe investing in Argentina. That's a theme that I think is pretty attractive right now. I can pull up the strategy details and I basically get a white paper on the strategy so I can understand, what it's invested in, how it approaches the market, individual asset performance, quite literally anything that I might be interested in to determine, is this a good fit for me and my portfolio? And if it is, I can see where it's already running. I can deploy it into another paper account. This one is pretty much fully allocated. And then from there, so obviously it's 1 o'clock in the morning, so markets are closed, but tomorrow morning it will open those positions, and it'll handle rebalancing for me, tax loss harvesting for me. If it decides to get out of positions, it basically handles anything portfolio management related for me. And then I can also go in, and this usually takes a little bit longer for me to load because I have like 200 strategies that I've created on here, but I can see all of my existing strategies. I can create, the first two are going to be no code, so basically just really easy to throw together some logic. AI builder is going to basically be text to code. So you see all my other strategies pop up that I've created. And then basically we leverage just about any data point that you can think of that can be applied to the markets. So I give it that prompt. It's going to determine what data points it needs to utilize to make that prompt into an automated logic. Then we'll throw that together, and we basically have some models in the background where that's constantly improving, constantly learning. So it's going to determine what the consumer defensive stocks are, or what the tech stocks are, what the consumer defensive stocks are. It's looking at the S&P as a benchmark. So it just saved me, 30 minutes or so of coding. And then I can also, if I'm not too technical, or if I want to just save some time, I can hop in the ETF builder, we call it, and there's a built-in screener on the left. If I don't want to use that, I don't have to, but let's just demo that anyway. Maybe I'm looking for aerospace and defense stocks. We'll just do aerospace and defense stocks. So I can do my favorite aerospace and defense stocks. Equalize positions, have a rebalance for me every, we'll say 90 days is fine. And then this is basically just going to handle auto rebalancing and tax loss harvesting for me. I'll run a quick back test, but I also want to show the no code builder. So basically the back test, I can just get a quick view of if the strategy had been in the markets for X time frame. I can get a hypothetical analysis of how that could have performed if it was live during that time. So in this situation, we underperformed the S&P, so probably would want to make some changes here. But same thing, you get a white paper. For the sake of being quick, I'll build from a template for the no-code builder. We'll just do MFI RSI. And this is basically where I don't have to code in order to create a fully fledged automated investing strategy. So I can go in, I can pick my assets, and I can just layer in these if and, if or, if then statements, and can really create some pretty neat logic on top of that. Right now, the no-code builder only has technical, fundamental, and descriptive data. The full code builder and AI builder, they have anything. So macro, micro, descriptive, fundamental, alternative, a little bit of dark pool, quite literally anything that you can think of that can be applied to the markets can. We're working on expanding on the no-code builder a bit, but for right now, I can still build some pretty cool stuff using technical, fundamentals, and descriptive data points. And then from there, everything's just easy allocation based. Again, discrepancy between no code and full code. Full code, you can change different order types. You can buy in shares, buy in dollars. No code is just simple allocation. So a little bit, the goal is to be a little bit more straightforward. But I do think overall we have some expansions that we can do there. I can go in and determine whether I want to do any sort of maximum open orders, open positions, if I do or don't want to just trade during any specific day, and or if I want to reduce the total, I guess, allocation that it takes on. And from there, seeing backtests, one thing I didn't cover before was we have these predefined scenarios. Let's get me out of the way. We have these predefined scenarios, so you can see bullish, bearish, choppy, flat conditions. And this basically is a pretty neat way where you can determine what market conditions your strategy performs best in. That way you can, instead of necessarily just having a sector rotation system, you can also have like a strategy rotation system within your portfolio, which can be pretty powerful. So over the past 20 years, we've determined a handful of these different scenarios. You can utilize them. You can build a custom scenario if you want to. And then obviously, if you want to consider any sort of fees, slippage, initial balance doesn't really matter. But if you want to, instead of starting with 10,000, if you want to start with 100,000 or 1 million, you can see that as well. So in 9 minutes, that is what we've built. We also have an explore page. We're not really an explore page company, but this is a cool way to basically get some analysis on the companies that you're interested in investing in. So you can see every recent news article, press release, all of that with a sentiment score, as well as AI generated summary. You can see what strategies on the platform trade that particular asset, how they're performing, kind of back into a strategy that way. You can also see any sort of insider trades. Jensen Huang is absolutely dumping NVIDIA. He's been selling like $20 million a day, and any sort of congressional trades. So quick overviews. And then also one thing that I actually forgot about was we have the beginning of a data dashboard where basically all the data that we have, one of our goals is to make it to where you can really easily interact with it, basically visualize just about any data point that can be applied to the market. So right now it's definitely in MVP mode, but overall, pretty cool potential here. Oh. Yeah. Recession probabilities are weird. We were in a recession for like a day, a 100% probability of recession for like a day in April. Okay. But fear and greed, Shiller price to earnings ratio, sector performance, some pretty cool stuff. Probably could switch out smooth recession probabilities just because it's not super valuable, but anyway, that's what Surmount is. Basically, in short, we are $20 a month, $120 a year currently. We're going to end up switching to where there's like a minimum fee to access the platform, and then above like a certain account size, we just do a basis point model. And then the more you invest, ultimately, the less you pay in management fees. And we also have dark mode because that is the make or break between any great product. Cool. So that's it. I think I've demoed everything. This is what Surmount is, and we've spent a good amount of time building it. We've gone through Techstars. We've gotten backed by absolutely amazing angels and investors. Yeah, and we have right now about $53 million on the platform, with about 12.5 million actively trading through Surmount strategies. So small drop in a big bucket. We're getting there. Great team, great product, and really I look at this and I'm like, man, we're in MVP mode. But we're making it happen, and I'm excited to continue building, learning, iterating, and go from there and see where we end up.